We got some. I mean, I'm gonna say for myself, but we're good-looking brothers on the stage.
We need some diversity, man. The stage got light.
Yeah, we. Hey,
But I'm channeling my inner darkness. You
that's
feel me?
right. The melanin. It's melanin. Now, there's been a. Now, I want y'all to be aware there is a sneaker cam that's going to be sliding around the room. So, so make sure that you got your feet moving in place where that camera is going to come around and grab you. Now, what's going to be unique about this conversation is that we're fathers, and we are definitely a voice. However, in this conversation, we're talking as fathers. However, we're talking as professionals and sharing what's important to us as individuals, what we've seen, what we'd like to see more of and less of. Cedric has been a part of the APGA growth over the last some years and has seen an amazing growth and shift in some of the young men that come out of that program. They have invested millions of dollars into growing and seeing how their impact can be seen, one, on camera and off. I think I want to, Dondre, I'm going to let you introduce yourself for those who don't, may not know who you are, sir.
I have Dondre Whitfield. I've been an actor for over, it's painful to say, over 40 years, because I don't feel that old. But you know, everything from the Cosby Show to Queen Sugar, and she's like Martin. Brother came up to me in the lobby. He's like, "I remember you from Martin." And then I wrote a book on manhood called Male versus Man. And I've often said to people that acting is my passion, but activation is my purpose. And so what I do is I travel throughout the country, trying to get our men to come to the better version of themselves. I'm currently working on a one-man show about purpose, trying to get people to understand the difference between their passion and their purpose. This is just really a life work. My father went to prison when I was 13 years old, and so not having a navigation system and really pushing me to a space where I could matriculate properly into manhood left a gigantic void in my life, and that void turned into a purpose. And so that's what drives me every single day.
Thank you. That's amazing. He has life's work.
That's work.
A question I like to ask people: did golf choose you, or did you choose golf?
Yeah, for me, it started off as me just connecting with friends, playing golf socially. It became a thing where I got really, really addicted to it, to your point earlier, right? So it became a way to connect with friends and travel the country and see different places. And I think over time, it became a part of my work life. And that is where I think people have started to see more and more of our involvement with like the APGA and the USGA and things like that. It's become a part of my work life. And at that point, I think golf has chosen me, and it's in me, and it's probably never going to leave me. I'm not trying to push it away, although I have days where I want it to behave differently. But yeah, it's a deep passion of mine. It's taught me a lot. And for the young people in the audience, you probably hear this over and over again, but the skills that you're developing as junior golfers and being able to play golf at a high level will allow you not only to just learn the lessons that golf naturally teaches you, but to connect with people in the work world in a way that will enhance your career. It's enhanced my relationships with customers. It's enhanced my relationships with executives. And it's now allowing us to live into our purpose as a company in one way with the APGA and now with UGA. So yeah, I'd say I chose it, but it's now just in grade at this point.
Thank you. Dondre?
Golf definitely chose me. I definitely did not choose golf. I played 3 sports semi-pro, baseball, basketball, and football, and the last thing that I wanted to do was play golf. I was doing a show in New York called All My Children, and the guy who played my father on the show, Richard Lawson, asked, from me talking about my sports background, he said, "Man, I got a game for you." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Golf." And I'll never forget my reaction. I was like, yo, that game is old and Caucasian. I do not see myself in that game at all. And this was just as Tiger was about to, and he took me to a driving range. I did what I think every guy does when they go to the driving range for the first time, pick up a driver and try to hit it 400 yards and wind up hitting it 4 feet. And I took 5 swings, and I swear I did not get this ball off the ground. And then I said, okay, show me what I'm supposed to be doing. He was a scratch golfer, so I had some great instruction. And the first time that I aimed at a target and I actually hit it, I was hooked. Yeah. And this game is so profound because it's taught me so much about myself. And now I let the game interview anyone that's about to come into my life. So I don't ask people who they are. I just ask them if they play golf. And if they say yes, then I just say, let's go play golf, because the game is going to tell me everything I need to know about this person. Are you a quitter? Are you a cheater? Do you get angry easily? What happens when you get angry? Do you get activated, or do you do things to, position yourself properly so that you can win? So the game just interviews that person for me. So I love this game.
Question for Cedric. How did Cisco get involved in golf? I mean, this is the company's investment is not, obviously what they're doing with APGA is amazing, but they have an entire, an operation in golf. And you see their logo on PGA Tour events and on signage, and you're like, wow. It's like, so when technology companies, which seems like there's a plethora of them getting involved in golf as sponsorship and partners, but why?
Yeah, I mean, the number one reason is connection. We want an opportunity to connect with our customers and partners, and golf provides an amazing opportunity for us to do that. So through some of our ambassadors that we have on PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, and the APGA Tour, we have opportunities for our customers to connect with those players, to connect with Cisco executives, to build a deeper relationship. Probably some of the stuff that Dondre's talking about, like the interview, the game, watch people play, you get to know people on a golf course. It's a 4-hour friend maker, but it's also the truth serum. You start to see what people do and how they behave. But it's really about connection and connection to our customers and partners. That's the main reason Cisco's engaged. Now, the APGA, the involvement there was a little different. Look, we were already involved in golf. We're the lead sponsor for the USGA. We have a number of players on both the PGA Tour and LPGA Tour. But the APGA started really as an interaction with me leading the Connected Black Professionals and our Chief Diversity Officer, inviting some executives to the first Billy Horschel Invitational. And that event exposed our executives with really some talented players. I don't know if Greg is in the audience, but one of them who's here. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's at your table. Yeah, so one of them who's here. And we saw how talented they were. And the dinner afterwards was mind-blowing. There were tears flowing with these players who were so talented, and all they needed was support. And that meeting 5 years ago really kind of supercharged our engagement there. And so we have been all in on that tour. When I leave here tomorrow, I am going to Ponte Vedra to host the Black History Month Classic, Cisco Black History Month Classic.
It's Greg, thank you for coming, man. I appreciate your presence. Yeah. It means a lot. So if you see Greg, youngsters, if you see Greg and he's moving around the golf course, ask questions.
Star.
He's an amazing young man who has a breath of fresh air for the sport. he knows exactly what's on his mind, and he's no question he wants to share it. Is that right, Greg? I know, man, because he gets in my ear all the time. But I love it because there's passion there. But young people, ask him questions. He's been there before. He's doing it right now. So you got someone who you can relate to who's not 50 years old, not 40 years old, not 30 years old, but a young 20-something. He has something to share. So use him. Connect with him. Follow him. Send him a DM on Instagram. Just connect. Ask questions. If you need advice, ask questions. It's important. Dondre, this is going to be a bit of a jerky question, not a jerk question, but that didn't come out right there. No. But it's gonna poke the bear, because sometimes we have to poke the bear to get get a breath and really hear something that sometimes people don't want to hear, but it's necessary and required. But as parents, what can we do to support our child mentally and emotionally on their golf journey? It is not easy being a parent of a golfer.
I would have to say that this is the silent part out loud. Because as parents, we want our kids to do well for a number of different reasons. One, we want them to do well so that they're not in pain, but then sometimes as parents, we want them to do well so that we're not in pain. My wife said to me, because, she travels often, as we all do, so sometimes when my son is playing in a tournament and I'm with him, she says, I wish I were there with you guys. And in my head, I'm going, no, you don't. Because if I text her, she says, how's it going? So it's the first hole, par. Second hole, par. Third hole, par. Fourth hole, bogey. And she texts me a word back that I can't tell you right now. And I'm going, you don't want to be here. In theory, it sounds good, but as junior golfers, this is the part that I call the manure stage. I want you to think about a beautiful lawn. When it's fully grown in, everyone can appreciate the lawn because it's beautiful, it's lush, it's green. You can lay out a blanket and have a beautiful picnic on it. No one ever talks about the lawn when it's in the manure stage. Mm-hmm. No one ever talks about how beautiful that part of the process is. But it's a necessary process. So our kids, this is the growing phase. Sometimes it's really ugly. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable. And sometimes as parents, I've seen from time to time, a few of us get frustrated with how our kids perform. And whenever I see one of us get upset or angry with the way our kids are performing, I usually can tell that this is a parent who doesn't play golf. Mm-hmm. Because if you play golf, to be honest with you, if I had it my way, I would require every single parent to have to learn how to play golf. Because as soon as you see your son or your daughter underperform to your expectations, you will immediately begin to have a sense of empathy for them and give them the kind of grace that's necessary. Your child is playing the toughest game on the face of the earth, and there are no substitutions. When your child plays basketball or baseball or any other sport and they're not playing well, sub. They will sub your child out. If they win a championship, your child can win a trophy and didn't play well and call themselves a champion. Not in golf. It is a lonely walk. So as parents, emotionally and mentally, what we have to do is, it's really hard to do, but when they come off the golf course and they haven't played well, just give them a hug. Just give them a kiss. Hey man, I'm proud of you for grinding it out today. I'm proud of you. Because at that point, that's really all they need to hear. Because trust me, you think you feel bad, but who do you think feels worse? You think they feel good about underperforming up to their own expectations? So as parents, that's the kind of support that we need to give them emotionally and mentally. Just to say, hey man, no matter what, we here, we good.
Is silence good on the ride home?
Is what?
Silence good on the ride home.
It depends. If you feel like your child needs you to say something, 9 times out of 10, they don't need you to say anything. Hello? Juniors, you get to clap right now.
This is your opportunity
This
to clap.
is your opportunity
No judgment
right
zone.
now. You better, if you don't say it now, if you're not getting what you need and you don't speak up now, this is your fault. Uncle Dondre is here to help you right now. 9 times out of 10, watch this. My son will tell you, after every round of golf, in every tournament, not one time have I ever said anything to him about his score. Never. Why? Because his score is simply the result. What I want to talk about is the process that produced the result. So 9 times out of 10, we're just dealing with the outcome, but we're not dealing with how we got to the outcome. So if you want a different result, now we got to figure out what the process is, because the process is what gave us the result. If you don't like your result, you need a new process. Do you have a process? If you don't have a process, let's get you one. And that's what this is about. That's why this is important. So I had one of my bonus nephews, you know they all my bonus nieces and nephews.
That's right, that's right.
But I had a bonus nephew today. Didn't have a great day today. And the first thing I said to him was, hey man, that's why these tournaments are 2 days. Show up tomorrow. And guess what? If you're going through something right now that you can't talk to mom and dad about, come talk to Uncle Dondre. Because sometimes your child is going through something that you may not even be aware of or understand, or have the information that they need in order to get them to the other side. This is a lonely game. Despite the fact that it's the United Golfers Association, golfers are not united. Golfers are not united. That's why this is important. Because we get to unite. We get to take care of each other's kids. We get to take care of each other. I'm gonna talk all night, bro. So
you longer than me, and that's scary. Hey, that's too much laughing out there. Said
Yo.
the climate right now. Oh boy, here we go. With the climate of things shifting and changing, with the focus, or the shifted focus on diversity and inclusion in corporate America, what organizations like United Golfers Association, and there's other nonprofit organizations. Raise your hand if you run a nonprofit organization in this room. Look at that. That's a dozen. or more. Jenny Bethune is in the building. Woo, woo. But as nonprofits, we need to depend on, I would say, three things. Our community to lean in, corporate America to lean in, and other nonprofit organizations to do things which we don't, because it's like the little guy, the ring, mine is mine. But I think if we found a way to collaborate more as nonprofit organizations like others do, and they go in and get grants together, they bond together. They say, look, mine is stronger than yours, but we can also go in together and get this money. Now, Cisco has doubled down. AARP has doubled down. Coke Florida doubled down. And there's a lot of others who have, but there's a whole lot more we hear in the news that are not. But what can we do as golf community to find partnerships and relationships and maximize them so that we can do more things for the golf communities that we serve?
Yeah. So I'll talk about it from the perspective of a Fortune 50 company, right? What is important for us is
He said 50. He didn't say Fortune 500.
Yeah, it's a big company.
He didn't say 100.
But look, first of all, we know what's happening in America. It's an unfortunate time. Cisco's not backing down from our commitment. As I said, our purpose is to build a more inclusive future for all. Emphasis on inclusive is doing all the work in that sentence, right? That is who we are. That's how we show up. So that's the Cisco answer. But what we really look for in some of the partners that we invest in are really opportunities to connect and bring opportunities to connect with our customers. That is the most important thing. So when we can have events like this is a phenomenal event. We love the purpose of what UGA is doing. That's why we invested. That's why we're going to continue to invest, and we're here for you. But we want to increase the pipeline of talent in golf. We want to increase the diverse pipeline of talent in golf. And this is a phenomenal opportunity for us to do that. That said, we want to continue to lean into trying to create more opportunities for other companies to engage. So, I mentioned the Ponte Vedra event. We're going to go to Ponte Vedra, and I have 30 customers coming to Ponte Vedra to talk with, APGA, play a pro-am with APGA pros, to learn from them, to network with them, to potentially invest with them. That's happened. We had Delta Airlines out at the last event. They're now an investor in the APGA tour, right? That's creating those opportunities for connection is what helps you and what helps us. That's what we want. We want to create an opportunity so that we can bring our partners and customers together. Yeah, it creates a relationship. It creates an opportunity for us to sell more, to do things more, but it also creates opportunities for you to have connection with more organizations that might be like-minded with Cisco.
The pipeline, and I'll semi-close with this, and I shared this nugget at the PGA Merchandise Show a little less than a month ago. And I talked about the pipeline of black golf. I talked about the state of black golf, but I talked about the pipeline of black golf. We have our strongest bubble right now, and that's between the young people, between the ages of 16 and 20. These are COVID golfers. Some who picked up golf during COVID, slightly before, and that's because that's what they were focused on. Parents were like, no basketball, no football, no soccer, you're not doing that, you're not doing that. Pick up this golf club. But what's happened is that those who are above that, in that pyramid, it gets thinner because no one was playing that much at that level. But now below that pyramid is now upside down. When we look at, Quincy, Leonard, and I look at the leaderboard, but not just that, we look at the young people who are playing, there's a big part of our nugget and our attendance is between 16 and 18. And then it gets about 20% lower, 13 and 15. And then another 20% lower between 10 and 12. Where are we going to find more 10 and 12s? They're just not going to come out of nowhere.
That's right.
So we have to build the pipeline. And that comes with partnering with organizations like T Divas and T Dudes, Where's Jairus? Jairus, where are you? You're not paying. He's here. John G. with SLG Foundation. Thank you again, John G., for all that you do. But these organizations, we have to build a strong pipeline. And if we don't, we're going to look like our HBCUs right now. Mm-hmm. Our HBCUs, and I hired someone to do an entire study on this. It took us 2 weeks. We did an inventory and the entire attendance and all the attendees and golf athletes at all the HBCUs. Black athletes were less than 47%. We were actually 46.5. If we add our brothers and sisters from Africa, we get up to 56.8. Where's those other 42 and some change coming from? Mm-hmm. Latin America, Asia, Canada, Sweden, and everywhere else. But if our pipeline is light, guess what's going to happen in 2-3 years? It's not going to look like that. Our numbers are going to be much less. We're going to be probably in the 30%. And it could possibly shift anywhere between 6 to 8% per year because we don't have a strong pipeline. Right now, that's why I work so hard. That's why we work so hard. APGA, they get fed through elite golfers like young people in this room. Epson Tour gets fed through young people in this room. The LPGA Tour has 0 black women on it. 0. You go to an LPGA event, not the Epson Tour, but the LPGA, there's 0 black women. There's only been 8 black women who've been on that tour in 75 years. And currently, there's none. So young girls, it's your time. It is your time. There are more young black girls in our tournament than our boys this year. And I think that's an amazing opportunity, and that deserves a clap. Parents, we got to give back to the village. I know you love your child, but there is another child who's to your left or to your right. There's another child in your child's foursome. When their chin hits their chest because they duffed the ball, don't stay silent. Chin up. Hey, you got this. You are not just here to cheer on your own child this weekend. I'm going to say it one more time for Tom Reed in the back. You are not just here to cheer on your own child. That is important. I'm going to end with that, but I want to, for me, is there anything you would like to say to close out, Cedric?
I just think it's beautiful to watch this room. I mean, I'm encouraged. The pipeline is upside down. I'm a sales guy. I lead a big sales organization. The most important thing we look at is pipeline. If you don't have pipeline, there's no way you get to whatever your target is. This room is encouraging to me. We need more. We need to continue to do more, and I'm excited to work with you on that. But we need to continue to develop the pipeline of black golfers, especially black women. I agree with you. We talked about that the first time we spoke. That was the fit that we saw with the UGA, is that you did have a healthy pipeline of black women golfers. But so anyway, I'm encouraged, but we have a lot of work to do. This is a labor of love for me in Black History Month, where the theme is labor of love. So let's just keep plugging away and grow the pipeline.
Thank you, Dre.
To all of our juniors, I want you to get really good at learning how to forgive yourself. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes in life and in golf. Your mother and your father have made a bunch of mistakes. I tell my son all the time, and my daughter, I'm like, hey man, I make plenty of mistakes, but I'm really good at making a pivot. I want you to become really great at forgiving yourself, because often I see some of our juniors hit a shot and they get to the shot that they're on, and you can pretty much tell that they're actually not on that shot. There's still 3 and 4 shots behind them. The key to being great at this game is being mentally sound. And you can only be mentally sound and available for your game if you forgive yourself for the mistake that you made 2 strokes ago. The only thing that matters right now is this shot, right here, right now. The only time you remember the shots that you made was for the sake of you making a pivot and applying certain things that you gleaned from that last shot. But learn how to forgive yourself. You're going to make plenty of mistakes in life and golf. So tomorrow, when you go out, forgive yourself for the shot that you don't make and stay focused on the one that you're supposed to make.
Thank you. Let's give the 2 guests a round of applause, please.